It's time for another Coach's Pregame Show here on 95.3 KDKD and the Clinton Cardinals Sports Network. And, of course, joining me in the studio this week is head coach Mowry with the Clinton Cardinals football team. Coach, homecoming was last week in a very close game. We were talking before we started recording. The game was good. We just came up on the losing side of it, but we can hopefully keep that momentum going into this week's game.
Yeah. That's like I said. Last week is we hated to drop that game, but we played well.
Right.
We couldn't get some things going offensively. We missed a few big plays, and we got to deal with a couple new injuries again that hit us in the middle of that game, and it's just we got to refocus and get ready for the end of the year.
Well, you were saying that it's one of the best defenses that we're going to see all season is Harrisonville, and that's what we played against last week. But going into this week's game, as we travel to Warrensburg, tough having two big conference games right after each other. Harrisonville is a big school, and then Warrensburg is a big school. But how does Warrensburg look going into this game?
Yeah. So, last week was one of the best defenses we've seen up to this time.
Yeah.
Maybe for the year.
Wow. Okay.
Just big, aggressive kids.
Yeah.
This week we're going to flip it, and we're probably going to see the best offense that we've seen all year long.
Okay.
Kobe Westfall, their quarterback at Warrensburg, is a very good quarterback, which his dad is actually the offensive coordinator there.
That helps.
Yeah, who's coached at UCM.
Yep. They have chemistry.
Kobe knows his dad's offense inside and out, and so it's made a really good dynamic for them. It doesn't matter what we do or where we sit. He's going to be able to make reads on what we're doing and be able to put put our guys into conflict based on what he wants to do. And then it's just going to be us adjusting to the play. So,
right.
Like I said, a lot more dynamic than what we've seen so far. And, we just got to come out and play ball.
Well, you spoke of injuries as well. What are we looking at? How many people are going to be down? What type of injuries are we looking at? 1 or 2 weeks, maybe back for districts. So what are we looking at?
Yeah, we're down 2 key starters again. It's just as soon as we get everybody back. Here we are.
Any re-injuries?
No re-injuries, thankfully. So all of our other guys that have come back healthy are still in. Landon Stamper went out in the game with a hip injury.
Okay.
So he's kind of nursing that, still having a hard time getting around. So he's definitely going to be out this week. And hopefully he's starting to get back where we can get him back into next week, because he's been really solid on our offensive line.
Right.
And then also Marcus Oliver, our starting running back, is out. He's dealing with a hand injury. That's going to be a big hit to us.
Something tape can't fix?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of them things. We had that discussion yesterday. Is like, do we try to play? Do we keep him out again?
Keep him out for a game and hopefully get him back the following week.
Right,
yeah.
And so that's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
Is we don't want you to have to keep limping through each game.
Right.
Let's sit out this week and see if we can get you healed up and be ready to go for
districts.
Let's
see if we can make a run in districts for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
The last game, looking ahead on the schedule, last game of the season is against Center. As of right now, Clinton and Center have the exact same records on the season. Each team has 1 win, and that's going to be a big game later in the season. That's really going to determine where we seeded going into districts as well as on that game. So that's something to look forward to. So save the guys with injuries, get them rested up, get them healed up, and ready to go for that last game of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're going to get play-up points no matter what happens between tonight and next week,
right.
As far as playing, more teams in a higher class than us. When it comes to our district standings, looking at the standings, Summit Christian's right above us.
Okay.
I don't see us jumping them. So I'm pretty sure we're sitting at the 6th spot ahead of Central right now. And I look for us and Central to stay in those 2 spots.
Okay.
What we're really looking at is who we're going to end up playing first week. So right now it could be a possibility of St. Michael or Oak Grove is what we think our best 2 options are going into districts. Either one of those teams I'm going to be okay with. I'd really like to have a rematch with Oak Grove.
Just was to say, we've already seen them this year, so great to see them again.
Yeah. And I think St. Michael's a favorable game for us too. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a tough game. There ain't nobody we're going to play is going to be an easy walk. But,
right.
I like our chances against them, and and if we had to choose between the 2, I'd probably take the St. Michael matchup over the Oak Grove matchup.
Okay.
So it's really going to depend on what happens the next 2 weeks. Oak Grove's got Harrisonville tonight.
Yeah.
if they can pull one, that's going to be a good game. I think if they can pull that off, I think that'll kind of seal us with us and St. Michael going
right,
into districts.
Right. Well, we look forward to that. Well, before we get into tonight's game, share with me what's kind of the game plan going into it. Like you said, looking at one of the better offenses. Last week we had a stronger defense. How are you going to prepare both on both sides of the ball going into this matchup tonight?
Yeah, that's what we've told our kids all week is they're going to score points. I mean, I think they're averaging around 40 or 50 points a game on everybody they're playing. Pleasant Hill held them to 14, which really, really surprised us. That was kind of Pleasant Hill's breakout moment this year. But they're scoring points. They find ways to score. Like I said, Westfall is very good about reading the defense and seeing where he needs to go and putting somebody in conflict and making him have to work to stop them. So we know that's going to be a situation. Their defense is pretty young. They're big. I mean, they are big all the way across the board, offensively and defensively.
Eating those potatoes, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Their defensive backs are going to be faster than what we've seen, but they like to play a lot of man coverage, and we hope they like to stick to that because I think we've got some concepts that can beat them, and we just have to get into our game. And we had this discussion at practice yesterday. Is we get into practice and we execute and nobody drops balls, and then we get in the game. And, last week we had a lot of drop balls and we weren't executing blocking schemes. And, so he's like, guys, you play your best when you just relax and just play.
Yeah.
And so
when nothing's on the line.
Yeah. And that's what we've been putting forth this week is going forward. Just continue to treat our games just like you do our practices.
Right.
Just go out, relax, have a good time, play ball, and everything will fall into place for us.
Have fun.
Yes,
have fun. Just play our kind of ball, and we'll get the points on the board.
Yeah.
They'll come.
Yes,
right.
for sure.
Exactly. Well, Coach, is there any last things that you want to say to get out there this week before we head into our matchup tonight?
Nope. Just like I said, thanks everybody for coming out. Homecoming support last week was awesome. I wish we could have got the one. Yeah. And it's when we see those crowds, the boys take note of it too, and it's a lot of fun. It's a game changer for everyone.
For sure. The crowd is really the 12th man or the 14th man on the field that really get they get people into the game, and it gets the players into the game too. When they hear people yelling for them, mom, dad, cousins, sisters, friends, family, whatever it may be, that gives you a little bit more reason to play.
Yeah,
and a little bit more fun to play. Yeah, exactly.
So we're right up the road in Warrensburg tonight. So it's not a far drive, and then next week also one big thing next week is Friday night against Center. Yep. That'll be our last home game, and that'll be senior night and also our pink out game. So that's usually a big hit for everyone as well. Big night as well. So we're looking forward to that. We'll talk about that a little bit more next week coming up. So again, Coach, thanks so much for joining us right here on the pregame show. Yeah, appreciate it, Clay. Thanks. Coach Mallory on 95.3 KDKD and the Clinton Cardinals Sports Network with the pregame show getting ready for tonight's kickoff. We'll be back and go live to the stadium in just a few minutes.
On video here, and we get ready to go. Is good home. Open top. It will be Tigers. Cardinals. Working out. Good return by the Cardinals. Cardinals still on their feet. Got across the 50-yard line. If he were to get spotted, but it's working. Look at my oh, that's really excellent. That was Connor's ramble. Look at his fire. He got out of his skin. I guess the left side, but he has to get in the heat. Hoping to get your time. Really get built in. Cardinals Lions for that two. Time going up here to about 2 weeks. They are out here. Fumble on the snap. Target falls on it, gets it back. So Cardinals in 6 plays in the district over to the stable. First in class 4, number 1 is their district. As it goes to side as one, Cardinals really have the next great run up the middle by Oliver. Oliver will ball here. Got 5 on that. He'll make the third man against 5. For the Cardinals, they are in one for great return. For the Cardinals, leading right 3 here. Third touchdown for the Cardinals. All on the 26-yard line. Hard to get the dot got looked in. Who's back here in Warrensburg is Lafarge. He's got the pass out incomplete. Great defense by Warrensburg. It's headed for 23. Thank God. He's covered there on the edge. Warrensburg just playing really nice. That all night. It's had a pretty good ball here. It's not going to make a lot of points. This coach is giving up. And if it's put the character, obviously, good. That was actually good. That's more than there's a good division and very I think throw on with some secondary back. Farge is going to take a battle here tonight. Now about the 10-yard line. We first see Warrensburg. Their first opportunity on offense. So we left ball. Yep, he is a senior. We thought it might be very high powered off. 17, 5, 50 versus all those good. Yeah. Down. That's something we're not going to do. Great stuff. Yeah, it's like it's brought up, but it's started, why not step right in front of it? And it's all like it's touchdown first. Yeah, first back on the field, first start. And I think that's not a team road for that. Now, that was huge. That also, because of the punt, was good enough, and it backed up. Perfect drive. You got to able after Bonham got that pitch, but you get inside the 5 yard. That's one of those left balls. This does back and forth to throw on what was looked like it could be a slant. Bonham just stepped right in front of him. Yeah.